Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton, Geoffrey, and Adam Ross here, as we are every Tuesday. How's it going, Adam?
You know, it's going well, Clinton, but I want to open with something a little bit different, a little bit special this week because I see Tyler DiVincenzo's online, or at least that's got to be him. That's a profile picture of him. And Kyle Edgar. Kyle, it's a good thing you posted that because I'm about to pick you up and throw you under the bus, along with Connor James and Taylor Thring. I think they were traveling together, Clinton, and here's why. There's different types of people in the world. There's people that'll see someone stuck on the side of the road and just drive on by. Someone they know, drive on by. There's people who are just off in la la land daydreaming and they'll miss someone they know stuck on the side of the road. But there's a special place in hell for people who see someone stuck on the side of the road and message that someone's kid, hey, we just saw your dad pulled over on the side of the road with the G-Force trailer. I'm thinking, what a jerk. It's 9 o'clock in the morning or 9:30 in the morning, so they didn't have to be there in a big hurry. I happened to be pulled over waiting for Bill Grisdale. We rode up to Sable Speedway together. But they had no way of knowing that on Highway 6. This is why I was stopped. But instead of turning around, hey, everything good? Can we help? No, they messaged my kid, hey, your dad's on the side of the road. That's my story. I'm glad they're here tonight. Thanks for tuning in.
Your story brings me, I'm laughing profusely because I don't know whether I'd call it a brain fart or a trusting technology moment that went wrong on me, but I didn't tell anybody this, but my kids and wife know it. We went up Thursday to Sable. I brought a trailer, right? A travel trailer from Justin Sharp, racer here in Niagara. Made a deal with Sharpie, took his trailer up there, same trailer we took up last year. And this is why you were towing the G-Force trailer, because I was up there Thursday. Thursday on the way up there, we're rolling up there, and I'm not very experienced in that area. I'm a city-it, right? I grew up in all the city my life, so as I'm driving up there, I'm looking at the gas gauge on the brand new truck, and it says, 68 kilometers, and we're Googling everything. I got Waze, I got Google Maps, whatever it is. And I'm like, all right. So I said, all right, we got like 54 kilometers to the station, and we're like 72. It says us. So I'm like, all right, I'm taking it. I get a mile from that UPI station. I don't even know, it was Bruce 25 or something. You take the last left you take before you get to Sable. So, and it starts gurgling, and I'm pulling a trailer, and I'm like, we're screwed. We're screwed. And Christine looks at me like, you idiot. And the kids are so, of course, you've got the G-Force trailer with both of our gas cans in it. I've got nothing. So we start strutting out. I felt like I was in the middle of the desert there walking across Arizona. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to walk it. She's like, well, we have CA. I said, we're going in the middle of nowhere. It's going to take an hour and a half. I'll just walk up to the corner. I'll buy whatever can they got. So it was like something out of a movie too, like an old Bo Duke movie. We're walking up the road. Jack goes, I'll come with you. And so he's strutting with me, 10 steps behind like a kid always is. And an old man come walking out to check his mail for one of the shops there. And I said, you don't by chance have a gas can I could borrow, do you? And he goes, come on in, Sonny. Took us inside. So Jack got a lesson in old country hospitality there for us, a couple city kids. And the man gave us a gas can, but still a long-ass walk. He didn't offer to drive us back to the truck. I still went strutting down the highway. But thankfully, he had a full a gas pump right there. So I gave him a few bucks and pulled in, and I was able to get done. But what a stupid story. So that's how my Sable weekend began. But after that, it was glorious. While we're on the topic of that, I got to say, we're not jumping right into Sable yet. I guess we could. What an amazing place Sable Falls Tent and Trailer Park are. The Sable Falls conservation area there. The whole area, if you've never been up there, experienced a race, and you've got the ability to go there, stay. I got to tell you, Adam, we stayed at another park near Flamborough. I won't name it. You know where I'm talking about. Great place. That was, I think, $600 for 3 days. I pulled in there for 4 days at Sable Falls Trailer Park, and it was like 200 and change. I nearly fell over. And I said, you sure that's right? Full service, full everything. So go see Paul Gresel. The staff was amazing. We even asked them for advice on where to eat. They gave us a great little restaurant. They made our stay great. So make sure you check out Sable Falls Tent and Trailer Park if you're up there. They're
Yeah.
also racers, so let's keep it in the fam, so speak. But
It's an amazing spot, like you say. Sable Falls is probably one of my happiest places in the world. Just being
yeah,
near those waterfalls, like you and I spent the most peaceful time of 2020 sitting at those falls, and it was only probably an hour of our
yep.
time. I forget how the schedules worked out, but it was just so nice to kick back, sit there. Like I'm not a big nature lover. I enjoy it, but we spend a lot of time at racetracks. But yeah, it's a fantastic spot. I've spent a lot of time up at Sable Falls Tent and Trailer Park.
And it's right across the road from the most beautiful, nature park there with the falls and everything. My kids request to go there. I told them we can go anywhere you want with the trailer. They said, "Can we go back to Sable Falls?" And I was like, "Really? That's where you guys want to go?" And like, yep. So, great day. That took us into Saturday, Adam. Beautiful day to light up. Hot as all heck. Not a cloud in the sky. And then the rains came out of nowhere. Totally unpredictable. Like nobody expected it to pour there that day.
So we spent a little bit of extra money to make sure we had good internet that day, Clinton, and it was a lot of extra money. But we looked at the forecast and said, "Look, everything is golden. Let's make this investment because we were going to have to pay rain or shine." The forecast looked good. The radar looked good right up until lunchtime of Saturday, and then all of a sudden it looked like a hurricane was about to come through. If you looked at the radar screen, and it did. It rained pretty good.
Yeah, we paid multiple thousands to improve our stream, and that was a big thing for us to get through. Nearly a handful of thousands. But I think we all agreed on our team that with it being a doubleheader at Sable, we knew the internet was sketchy up there, and it's just something, as we improve our quality, it's tough for any regular business to have that upload speed. We're not picking on the racetracks at all, but even if you try to do it from your house, unless you've got an amazing internet, you'd be in trouble. So TV to go stepped up, gave us a great bargain, but still technology like satellite trucks are not cheap, but the investment was well worth it. We didn't miss a beat of the day, and that was great. So I thought the racing was amazing.
Yeah. Better than the racing, Clinton. Let's take a step back because we're sitting. So we were there at lunchtime, just like the race teams were. We're getting everything set up, and then it's pouring down rain. And I remember talking to the satellite guy. He's not a racer, but he's there. And I said, a quick rain shower isn't the worst thing when you're at Sable Speedway because you need something to get people off the beach and then decide to go to the racetracks. So something like that's not terrible as long as it stops. And the forecast was brutal. Once we looked at the forecast, like it was 100% chance it was going to pour throughout the night. And what got me excited was we're standing there, and it was a sun shower. It was one of the hottest showers I can ever remember.
Great view.
People were lined up. People were lined up halfway to the road to get tickets to come in. They weren't even sitting in their cars waiting it out. They were lined up coming in. The grandstands had an amazing turnout. They were filled to legal capacity. And that's so exciting. It's so heartwarming because we have now been to Southern Ontario Motor Speedway down in Chatham, Sunset Speedway between Barrie and Toronto, Sable Speedway way up in the North Country. And what they all have in common is really, really good crowds. That's heartwarming for us, Clinton, because we made a lot of promises last winter. Not promises, but assurances. It is our experience that even though we're there to give away your product for free, it's not going to affect crowds. It's going to help business. It's going to be better for business. So this was indication, like it doesn't prove us right, but it does prove that we're not absolutely wrong. So it's just a good feeling though, when you create that crowd, and that crowd leads to an atmosphere that you can't duplicate. And that helps. Those were really good races, Clinton. Like they weren't phenomenal races. They weren't one for the record books, but they were really good races. But with the crowd, it makes them 5 times better.
Yeah, I think when we first started doing live streaming at Ush Weekend, for example, and everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy." Well, as long as your crowds are coming, it's a good night. Those nights when it rains in the afternoon are the biggest risk for a stream because everybody can say, "Well, it may be sketchy. It's not going to go. We're just going to stay home and watch." And then you don't have that crowd. the stream gets blamed for it because it is a convenience at that point. But you're absolutely right. I think we already talked about a couple meetings this week since, the history of the last 3 or 4 big races we did were packed, and that goes to show people still want to come to the races. And I think as a promoter, if you tell me I could be at capacity, have full car counts in every division, and still get 20,000 people to see my products that aren't there, I think that's a huge home run from everything. So super excited about that, the results we had. Spencer, roll a bit of the sizzle reel that we close out the show with. So this is some of the action from Sable, and you get to see some of the wild stuff. There's Jake Sheridan picking up race number 1. Man, during the daytime, everything looks so crystal and clear, amazing. Some wild action. The Hot Rods Adam, what a great division. They continue to deliver the excitement and great racing right to the last lap.
That's the last lap. Yep.
Tyler Hahn got it done. And, then we moved on to the Hot Rod. Some awesome action. Good to see that division healthy again. A lot of new blood back in there as well. The cars.
Yeah, the modifieds are fantastic. Sexy looking race cars. And to me, it's exciting. A three division show, 3 divisions, full car counts. Andy Camerath came through the field. I think he started in the 5th row, made some great clean passes to come up and win. And then, of course, the APC late models, twin 75 lappers. This was probably the most efficient APC show we've seen yet.
A lot of tore up bodies, a lot of tore up feelings, but some wild action. I mean, drama for us to follow. Everybody's front end was tore up at the end of it. Some wild action. It was a lot of fun to be there.
That's all fixable. This is all stuff that if you're a short track racer, you're going to have to buff out some rubber marks. You're going to deal with spins like this and the nose crumpled up. You're not putting clips on the car. You're not having to replace suspension components. This was just good, hard racing. I thought this was Josh Stoddy's race to win. Not going to lie. I really thought Josh Stoddy had the car he needed to take the win, and things didn't go his way.
Dustin Jackson with a wild slide through the grass there. No brakes either. That could have been very, very dangerous as well. And just some good, hard racing at the end there. Tough break for Sheridan. He looked like he had him covered too for a while there. He almost went 2 for 2. Good for the Sheridan clan to get that done. But anything else you want to add about Sable, Adam? It's available up if you want to go watch it after tonight. It's available here on the channel if you want to rewatch Saturday's event.
If you haven't watched it, watch it. I mean, that's a show. All it was feature racing, and I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, that was another thing that, if you're a fan of just getting right to it, that worked out good because of the weather, and the curfews up in Sable Beach. So they were hustling. It changed the program up a bit, but kudos to the officials for making that happen too. They pivoted quickly. They had a plan back to us quickly. Not that we matter, but from a TV perspective, we're trying to figure out what we're trying to keep up with too. So it's just good to work with them. Even Alex Nagy, I called him. He wasn't there, but he got me all the answers I needed within a matter of 2 minutes. So it was great.
Yeah. And we're still adapting. Like we're still learning how to work with these tracks and series and them work with us all in conjunction. So everyone's getting what they need out of the program. I mean, this is stuff that we worked at Ashweekend for years, Clinton. And we're doing it from one facility to the next where everyone's set up a little bit different. Everyone's shows are different. You wouldn't believe, folks, to see the different scoring teams, for example. Like the officials have to rotate in and out of some of these towers because there's different groups running these shows. Like there's so many moving parts, I think more so than I've seen in a long time in racing. And it's a lot of choreography in the background.
Great job to everybody there. Thanks to everybody in the staff and management up at Sable Speedway for taking care of us, and APC for having us, obviously. We're loving that. Our next APC race is 2 weeks. We will be at Flamborough on Saturday, September 4th, and then Brighton on September 5th, which would be Sunday.
Yeah.
Brighton has a sprint car doubleheader. We'll be APC Saturday, sprint cars on Sunday.
It's the improbable weekend for you and I. Canadian Tire
Yeah,
Motorsport Park Saturday, Flamborough Saturday night, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park Sunday, Brighton Sunday night. And I think
I think you
I
got it
actually
worse than
think
me.
it's the
I don't
best
have to go
schedule that we could have
Saturday.
laid out.
I don't have to go
Oh,
Saturday,
is
I
that
don't
right?
think. No,
Oh, Clinton Spencer, I'm going to be a little late on Saturday.
no doubt. We're going to have to twist Joel's arm. Yeah, so you'll be going from CTMP back to Flamborough, back to Brighton, back to Flamborough,
No,
back to Mosport. Oh, man. Anyways,
so Dave, to answer Dave's question, the caution wound up not being thrown for Gressel's hood. I think a car stopped or spun on the track. The caution was about to fly for Gressel's hood. It was going to have to.
that was kind of neat to
But
see him try and rip it off on the fence, but it didn't quite work out for him. And I saw a comment on Monday from the team. They said, yeah, there are already plans to move the fence a bit closer to the wall for just such an occurrence in the future.
He was doing it all. He was trying to reach his left hand out the window and grab the hood, which I don't know what that would have accomplished. Like, Andrew Gressel's a strong dude, but you got no leverage. His best
Maybe if
bet
he
was get that hood.
just get some wind under it, maybe was the thought, and make something happen. But drama, that's for sure. I was good to see Alvars. Got to meet Alvars Zenis up there. Good to meet you, buddy. That takes us to our KOT update, which is from Brighton. So fitting that we go from APC to Brighton because that's what we'll be doing in our next live weekend. Myself, will be off to Quebec this weekend to work with NASCAR Pinty Series, so there's no G-Force live broadcasts this weekend. Not because of us, it just worked out that way. KOT update, Jim Hoopinen got it done at Brighton. And, you said the improbable weekend for us because we're quadruple booked there in 2 weeks. This was a stressful weekend for me because we had the Knights of Thunder at Brighton. We had the Brockville Cornwall swing with the Action Sprint Tour, first time they ever went to the East. We had the live G-Force broadcast. And then I was also trying to keep my kids happy on vacation with the wife, too. So a bit of hectic, but we have some great staff and help, and we got it all done. First off, jumping into Saturday night, Hoopinen beats the improbable Ryan Turner. So they had a great battle, we're told. We won't be seeing that one. It was not captured, but I think that's the only race we're going to miss on KOT this year. But congratulations to Hoopinen and the GSR team for getting that done. A hard-fought win, and he picks up the win. Hoopinen was close in a few of them already, Adam, and he's got to be a little bit satisfied to finally nail one down. I lost Adam there. Did you mute yourself, Adam? Don't know what happened there. Let's jump into the Action Sprint Tour Eastern Swing. They went down to Brockville on Saturday. Great car counts there, full field. Brockville ended up getting rained out. Torrential downpour came down. It did stop raining soon after they called it, but just way too much rain in the ground for Brockville to get that going. They had to move that one on. Adam, I just threw it to you there just to comment on.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
He had an expensive night. Did you hear about that? I got a message. I got a message from Jim on the drive home. Hey, Adam, is there a Cal Tire that can come help us out? They got a flat tire on the highway on the way home. And that is not a cheap service call to go out for a rig like that and change a tire. So hopefully the wind covered that expense. But I hope he got home safe. He asked me for all the details, and we got him sorted out the best I could tell. But yeah, I felt pretty bad for him. So big victory followed by a slap right in the chin.
The racing gods bring you right back to reality. Eastern Swing, same thing happened to Lucas Smith. Adam, I read that he blew a tranny line on the way home from Cornwall on late Sunday night. Got some help from Rob Neely and some of the other crews who were taking care of each other. And unlike our opening, they were watching out for each other. So that's the beauty of everybody. I was just going to
say that. Hey, Kyle Edgar. Hey, Connor James, learn from this. But yeah, because we've got people that can help out. And Lucas wisely immediately put a message into the group chat of people that would have been coming back from Cornwall. So he thanked a number of people, Rob Neely among them. I forget who all he had thanked, but the racing community is a pretty good one, able to help him out.
So Jacob Dykstra keeps his winning streak alive. He picked up the win at Cornwall on Sunday. That was a big thing for us in the crate world, Adam, because it just showed the strength. We knew they were great here in Ontario. Brockville had picked them up and committed to it. Quebec has committed to it. And to get them all together at the first big race in the East shows great things for that. 27 cars strong, and I think that's going to encourage more drivers to go there in the future from the West, which we're calling the traditional action sprint tour area, which would be like Niagara and Ashwegan and I keep wanting to say Buxton.
It's
Southern Ontario Motor Speedway.
It's how CASCAR built themselves up. Like CASCAR went to the next level when they were able to establish Capital City Speedway and St. Eustache as weekly tracks, which really solidified them. It enabled them to make a bigger schedule crossing the provinces by having a little bit of a base out there, a little bit of a base out here. And with the crate sprints, you're dealing with they had a big base out here, little base out there, and it's sort of the same thing with the sprint cars, which is super exciting.
Yeah, I'm confident this is going to be a bit of a springboard, because any of the teams that were on the fence and wondering, is this going to take off? Is this the real deal? To get the tour to come to town, see all these new flashy rigs and cars that you've never seen before, and you realize, wow, this is a lot bigger than maybe we understood it was, because we only get 5 cars at our place, or 11 with Brockville, which is amazing for their first full-time year to have that go for them. So it was great for me to be able to show Raymond Laverne from Cornwall and Henry and Paul and the Kirklands that this is going to take off, as we had been talking about for 2 COVID-filled seasons already, where we haven't been able to actually kick it off. And I think when we actually roll back there again next year, we still have a race at Brockville coming up at the end of the year. It's actually the finale for the Action Sprint Tour, is a doubleheader in the East. And after what we saw at Cornwall, I'm super excited about that weekend. I can't see us not having 30 cars for the last crate race of the year, if not upwards of 40, if everybody gets it together and heads down there. So super excited for the Brockville Fall Nationals. And, just great to see everybody working out and coming together for the crate sprints and seeing it really take off. So from there, Adam, what I also want to mention about that, you were talking about CASCAR. We've already been in talks next year about something we had talked about in the past if it took off, and I think you're going to end up seeing sort of like a supercross type point structure for the crate sprints going forward, where we'll end up having an East series of 4 tracks, a West series of the 4 traditional tracks around here. Brighton will be in the middle as the gathering place, and then we'll also end up with a bunch of national or super national events. So we'll end up with an East-West and a national crate champion, all with point funds of their own. And I think that's just going to really blossom, and we'll have a lot more information about that coming forward. Let's move way out west, Adam. I'll turn it back over to you.
Before we go west, let's go through some of the comments, because they're relevant to what we've been talking about. First off, Alvers, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you. I always love your opinions. Gressel wouldn't get any preferential treatment at Sable because none of the track management are involved in the officiating of those races. So I can promise you, Sean Gibbs doesn't care who his dad is, or Trevor Hambley. The fact of the matter, they probably barely even know. So there wouldn't be any favoritism there, but I thought a call should have been made on that hood sooner, just from a safety standpoint. But I don't think their dad owning the track would have had anything to do with it. Dave Madden, Clint wants to talk about Jucasa's future and any rumors. For some reason, I saw rumor mill churn up again this week that they'd heard that the place was going to be bulldozed, and I haven't heard that. Anything I've heard more recently has just been held true to they decided to do nothing this year because that was the most responsible thing they could do while they're still getting, for one thing, COVID, for another thing, getting Kenny Hill's estate sorted out and deciding what they want to do. That's the latest I've heard, unless you have something different.
I'm in the same boat. Obviously, the rumor heated up a few months ago, but anyone with semi-credibility who have brought it up to me and I asked said, no, it's all on hold. And so until we hear otherwise, that's the story you'll be hearing out of this camp anyways. And man, I hope not, man. I want that place to keep going. We finally got comfortable there. We know our way around there. It's probably the best looking track on G-Force Live out of all of them. We definitely want to be going back there. And, you and I came to be, I wouldn't say house announcers, but we were in there pretty much 3/4 of the events when we were available. So that was exciting as well. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a great place, and Alex Nagy runs a good ship there, so we'll hope for the best for him.
Heating it up out west. Let's throw it back to our other buddy
Oh,
Todd Lewis. He was making posts on the weekend, Adam, being out west and some crazy stuff going on out there.
so I'm gonna go back to it, and I won't bring it up again, I promise. But Merrittville canceled a Friday night show a couple of weeks ago because the forecast was not opportune. Spencer, throw up this picture. British Columbia is the new gates of hell. This is what Todd Lewis saw coming from the airport to go and announce a race, Avion Motorsports at Penticton, and they did not cancel their race. They, in fact, held their race. So I think promoters need to have a look at what we can overcome. But that picture is absolutely sinister. And they ran their show. Andrew Ranger took home a win. Trevor Siebert took home a win in their twin 100 lap events. So glad to see Andrew Ranger fly out for that. It wasn't just a road course thing. There's Trevor Siebert in victory lane. The next shot will be Andrew Ranger in the middle, Riley Siebert on the left, Trevor Siebert on the right. And the show must go on, Clint.
Wild. God, everybody's safe out there. Want to send our thoughts out to all the racers out there and everybody battling that situation. I don't know, it just baffles me. I'd be trying to move out of there as fast as I can. Same thing as I would love to live in California, but nah, earthquakes. I'd love to be in Kansas. Nah, tornadoes.
One thing that was fascinating to me, I was watching on the news, they're actually using fire to fight fire. Have you seen that?
No.
They create a perimeter, a safe
burning?
perimeter, and then they light a fire on the inside of that perimeter, which is on the outside of the wildfire. So the fire can catch up to their perimeter fire, but for whatever reason, it won't cross over. I guess if the wildfire raged out, it could keep on going. But by them creating this fire that, I don't know, they fought fire with fire. I was just like, wow, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Dave Madden says you should buy Jacasa, Adam. But I told Spencer to show the viewers what you want to buy instead.
Yes.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da. He wants to buy an 18 fan.
The thing is, I'm not. No, see, that's the after picture.
It's got an Earnhardt 8 in it already. It's already for us and everything. It's a racing van.
That one's a short bus. This one could fit the team and let some of us sleep, and it's got a shitter in it. This is what we want. I can get some badass wheels and tires. No, Spencer, this is not a control room. Your control room is in the trailer, and you are not coming out of the trailer. This is the team van. This is the G-Force Streamliner.
That is the Adam. I'm not. Just let it go. Anyways, so just while you guys wonder why we're a little bit agitated before we come on the air, do you realize for an hour before we go on the air, Adam is pounding us with pictures, and this is what we need, guys. And he's not even trying to be facetious or humorous. He's freaking serious.
I don't like the truck we use. Listen, put a platform on the top.
That's
our
truck?
new
We
turn
drive a
3.
brand new Strickland's 2020 pickup truck we tow with, and you have a beautiful Chevy that you towed with this weekend. What, you want to take us back to the 70s? Do you want to?
I want to be different.
If we could get
a ramp truck
and crappy tire issues,
you give me a converted school bus. Tire issues, dude. I can get us all the tires we need. I will sponsor the team for tires.
That was your pitch day. I know where to get rims and tires.
We want to stand out.
You want to stand out. We just want to get to the races and get home.
I'll even put a soft serve ice cream machine in it for Calvin.
Hey,
that's
Greg,
the one.
I promise you, Greg isn't coming any closer to us than he already is. So that means he's definitely not riding in your beige bomber. Okay. I don't see it.
I stand by my comment. I have seen other ventures in motorsports lately, and they all do the same thing. They all get a nice pickup truck. I like a nice pickup truck, but it needs to be a promotional vehicle. Kind of like when Dennis Thompson from Thompson Signs had that smart car. It looked a little ridiculous, but it stood out. That van's going to stand out.
Do you realize you're going to get outvoted, obviously?
I know.
Let's
See,
let's move
our
on.
viewership just went up. Our viewership just went up by 20% since we started talking about this.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Wesley Shaw, viewers like you and supporters who support us and promote everything are the reason we're going to talk about what you just said. We're at 10,000 subscribers on GeForce TV as of this week, which is amazing. And Spencer told us right before we went on the air, we had our 1 millionth view, which is awesome. So those are some good, benchmarks for us to be hitting here in the world. And, it's great. So we really appreciate it.
We've had 1 million views, and we've never, ever shown nudity until the opening of the Sable race this weekend. So 1 million views with no nudity is pretty good.
I don't know if Spencer's got that on hand. He might have that in his he's giggling.
I didn't.
Says, give him a sec.
So I tried. I liked what we did. I did enough buttons up that I thought, for some reason, I thought it would only be from like my chest up. I thought this looks pretty good. And then I watch it on TV and I'm like, oh my goodness, my muffin top is on
Before you show it,
display.
Before you show it, Spencer, and while you're gathering the clips, see if you can get the Thompson drone shot that we discussed and show what we thought we were getting and then what we really got. Because they were two totally different things.
Communication is important.
We're heading. Okay, so this is in the chat, and I'm sitting on the beach with the family. I'm having a cold one on Friday. I'm enjoying it. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. And you should get a picture of the Sable Falls. So this is what we talked about and what we thought we were getting. This is going to be our big show lead-in. Beautiful shots.
And in fairness, this is why the team does not like me. This is what makes me hard because all this time we've been doing fine introductions where we all stand up and say our piece. We put it together. It's got a nice polished look. I've got to be the fly in the ointment. I got to be the one that says, guys, listen, can we do something different? Like, let's have two of us on screen at one time. Let's start doing different things so it's not the same show after show. Like, I can't leave well enough alone, and this is what happens. Welcome, race fans, to the beach. It's our one and only trip to Sable Speedway in 2021. How can we not take advantage of a beautiful day on one of the most pristine beaches in all of Canada? The APC Series running on the rugged quarter-mile Sable Speedway for a double-header here tonight. Catch all the action on GeForce TV. I made some friends. It cost you $20.
With my $20.
We rented that tube. That young woman was very happy.
For that? You drove up to me like, I need $20. I'm going to do a shoot. And I'm like, what? And you're like, don't ask. I'm like, okay, just like my kids. Here we go. No problem. How much more do you need?
We got to do what we got to do.
Connor's daddy's money and I'm Adam's money.
Yeah. This is true. No, he finished.
Does not make me your money.
Yeah, this is true.
So,
but I did like that we did something different. In seriousness, there are people who have never seen the beach, who have been up to Sable to race countless times and never gone past. Like, just another 5 kilometers and it's summer heaven. It's amazing. People should spend more time.
Some of the comments are classic.
I have no shame.
Enough about us and our circles. Let's jump into some more national topics, Adam.
Yep.
First off, your sits don't apply. Your situation doesn't apply. Show the World of Outlaw late model team post where they've decided to pull off the tour. So I have to pull this up so I can read it. So give me 1 second just so I can find it here clearly.
So if you want, I'll start to read it.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. This was not an easy decision for me to make. Anyone who knows me knows how seriously I take my job title of dad. Thursday is my daughter's very first day of school, which is also a World of Outlaw race in Pennsylvania. I tried hard to come up with a solution with World of Outlaws to be able to miss one race and to not receive any points. But if I did miss one by their rules, I wouldn't receive any point money at the end of the year because my situation to miss doesn't apply. There's moments once you miss them, you can't get them back. And being there to bring my daughter to her first day of school happens to be one of those moments I don't want to look back and regret missing when I could have made a way to be there. With that being said, and it gets a little blurry for me. Shane Sprinkle and I have discussed it and decided to drop off of the World of Outlaw for the year and finish the year racing the big races we want to attend. This weekend, that happens to be the Topless 100 in Batesville, Arkansas, thanks to all my great fans who support us every week.
So, great post. Makes sense. Understand the decision fully. But with my promoter's hat on, how is your daughter going to school on your first day? How can you let that go? Because then you start opening up a slippery slope of, well, it's my goddaughter's communion. I need a pass for that. So at some point, you have to decide where your commitments are. And kudos to you if you can make your children your commitment. That's awesome. Taking the job of dad seriously is a great thing. Important thing too. But
you know what? In fairness, I think that's a good use of social media. Like, I don't know if he's looking for compassion or sympathy or if he's not, but stating a fact, explaining, and he's right. The fact that if you can't miss one and still be paid for points, you might as well not go the rest of the year. I'm sure he will show up to World of Outlaw races for the rest of the year because I'm sure there will be some big money races that he does attend. But I'm with him. I get why people race for points, but in the world of big money dirt modified races and late model races and sprint car races where there is no penalty for not being a regular, I don't see why more people aren't just barnstormers and race chasers.
Well, I mean, I agree. The post was good in a couple ways. One, lets the fans know what's up, gets the story out, doesn't totally slam the series, puts the facts out there why he won't be participating or carrying on anymore. I think there was a little bit of a fishing for a bit of sympathy there, and for people to say, "Oh, those evil bastards at World of Outlaw screwing you for being a dad," which it isn't their plan too. But we had the same situation our weekend and on the tours. The people who go to every single race and are dedicated to every single race and are going to miss their daughters' communions and first days of schools, and they're the ones that are going to get paid for it. Sometimes the sport is cruel because you get wrecked by a rookie. It's also cruel because sometimes you got to be there every day to get the pay, when it comes down. And we have certain rewards at our weekend where it's been that way, and the guys that have perfect attendance get the tire money and the other things to it,
Yeah, and there are rewards, and and judge me if you want, but Connor's birthday is July 14th. Every year, it's the same day, July 14th. For about 10 years, that was always the Western swing with the NASCAR Pinty Series. I was gone every year for his birthday. So you try to make other special days around it. It's a day of the year. Tomorrow is my birthday. Like, I barely remember when it's coming or when it's happened, right? So it's a big deal. If you make it a big deal, people can judge you however they want. I also had some amazing moments with Connor on his birthday because the schedule changed to where the Toronto Indy, so I could take him down there and be with him for the day and show him stuff that he really, really enjoyed. But again, it's all first day of school. Christ, kids haven't had a first day of school in 2 years now because of a damn pandemic. So,
no, I just thought it was an interesting topic to cover, and I have the same situation with my family. They get it. If it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm not going to the wedding and we're not going camping. I have work to do, but I also have from October to May to go and do anything you guys want to do on pretty much any day of the week. So we have that benefit. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, I want to talk about a topic that I know Mikey Kretschka and Travis Cunningham had been discussing. And I know it's dead because Mikey's my brother, obviously. We were talking about stuff. He said, "Hey, man, I meant to tell you this. You want to get car counts up in everything? There's a major lack of practice in this industry." He says, "I meet people at the business every day, and I show them, I race cars. They say, oh, okay, so you race on Friday or Saturday? Well, when do you practice?" And I don't know, We get there about half hour before the show goes on, and we get about 10 laps if we're really, really, really lucky on some of these places. And then we just go out there and we throw shit at each other with $50,000 cars. And there is when you think about it, so Mike was petitioning me, and I'm like, if you know Mike, I'm like, you're not even going to go. He's like, it's not about me. It's about helping these people who would like to maybe try it, haven't really had to get in there, are afraid to just jump in on 5 minutes practice in a sport that is dangerous, fast-paced, and very expensive, and can cost your other people. Like, if I go out and play, certain sports, chances are, you're going to come out of it all right without affecting other people too much. But this is a sport where you definitely can do that.
So let me play the other side of that. The nice thing about dirt, and people on asphalt are starting to take notice, saying, why do we need to be here for a day and a half practicing and burning up 8 brand new tires to the tune of $1,500? When those guys on dirt are racing for more money, they show up and get 3 laps in, and then they go racing. So there is a fine line, and what I have found, what I believe, is that the weekend racer in some ways gets hurt when there's more practice available, because not every weekend racer can afford to take time off of work to go and practice their race car and fine-tune their setup. I know it's kind of a lame excuse, but it is a balance. There should be maybe one day a month where the track opens for a night and you charge $50 a car. You don't need to make money, but you don't need to lose money, and let people come out and hot lap. But I do think there's something to be said for a lack of practice.
I think they're two totally different situations, because when you look at how asphalt tracks, at least in this province for a lot of years, race, they'd open early in the morning. You can practice all day, run your stuff in the ground all day. I don't necessarily mean that on race day. I mean a scheduled once every 2-week practice where you could go out and try and get new people involved in the sport, pick up your game a little bit. And I fully agree. I mean, you shouldn't be putting hundreds of laps on your motor by yourself out there, burning up tons of tires, tons of fuel, all those things. But I mean, maybe if you just look at it from the dirt side, there's a major, major lack of practice. And even from the Ashwegan side, we scheduled 2 nights of tests and 2 at the start of the year. I think they've been rained out 7 of the last 8 years, and we come right into the season. And if you're a new guy, like, at least 3 years now in a row, we have had crate drivers who have barely even pushed off their race cars at all because of weather situations and timing, that we are now pushing them off into a 10 or 11 car heat of 4 heats where they're trying to fight for one of 45 spots with 0 practice in their car. I think there is a way we could do it. And yes, Humberstone and Maryville, and this is kind of where the discussion came about. It was sparked by Humberstone announcing they were going to have to drive on Wednesday, something Maryville had done for a long time. Ashwegan just typically doesn't do it. We could make a fortune at it, but Glenn just not really into burning up the track, and just kind of the way it is.
Yeah. So, but be careful of the argument about people needing practice, because it will widen the gap between the good and the mediocre. You look at what's happening in dirt modified racing right now with the spring smashers that these teams have in their trailers, and the technology, and it's going insane. And every lap is the opportunity to make that car faster and to make your casual racer forever uncompetitive.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that when you say it like that, because when I look at, like, if I've gone to what around here in Niagara Region on the dirt has been referred to as the rich guy practices, where the track is rented by somebody and usually a group of 8 or 10 guys go out. That's who it is. It's the high-end teams who are going to go out and spend that money. And, Joe Racer maybe can't do it.
And it will always happen. The good is always going to be the best. It's just how it is. But sometimes people come up with ideas to make a situation one way, and it does exactly the opposite. But practice nights might be great. One night a month, one night a week. Now, wouldn't it be nice if tracks got together and Humberstone hosted a Wednesday practice this week, and Merrittville hosted it next week, and Ashwegan hosted a Wednesday night the week after that? Or they could all do it on the same night and piss on each other's cornflakes.
No, I think that was where the discussion started too. If it was a practice schedule and people knew when they were coming up and they could kind of set up to get new people out or have some race trials to get some new people's hot laps. All right, give me the straight dope, Adam. This is one you shared, topics out of Ontario. I don't know if you want to lay out specifics on who said it or where it happened, but there's talk of tire dope and some situations arose there on the weekend. Take it away.
So here again, tire doping is one of the nastiest things you can do in the sport. It's dangerous. It's so dangerous. Carcinogenic, the stuff that people use to do it, the dangers of what can happen to one of those tires, and if a fire breaks out, like it's just nasty, harmful stuff. Most people don't know how to do it right. The people that know that are just doing it, that are doing it right, aren't taking safety precautions. Again, there were times when the rule made sense. People would have barns full of old tires that were aged out, or a tire that they'd run at Cayuga Speedway that had gotten so hot, even though it had a lot of rubber left on it, it was just cured to a way they couldn't run it anymore. Well, dope it a little bit, soften a little bit, it would let the poor guys run tires for a few more weeks. Well, that's fine for the little guy. Then the big guy learned how to dope tires, and they were going through tires even faster and really whooping the asses of the little guys. It's nasty stuff. It's one of those things that needs to be cracked down on the same way you would crack down on tampering crate engine seals. It is like these tracks need to come down hard, make examples of people. This is one time where I think people need to rat each other out. Point fingers. There's been people posting about this stuff. Point fingers, show us who's doing it. Even if it's a matter of not throwing someone out, but going up and confronting someone and saying, look, this is bad for the sport. Forget about being disqualified. Are you actually doing this? Like, if we find out you're doing this, go get rid of every tire that you have in your shop. Come back with something different next week, because if we catch you, you're going to be thrown out for a year, 2 years, gone.
Definitely need serious penalties to, nip that stuff in the bud. Another good topic of discussion that came up. This was shared on You Don't Have the Balls to Run the Cushion, and if you're not reading or following them on Facebook, it's entertaining. Show that one, Spencer. And the comment this week was, the tax write-off has ruined racing. Today, if you don't have a business to funnel money through, you ain't shit. A guy on a salary can't compete. You want to go touch that one first?
Yeah, can I give you 2 answers?
Sure.
For one, you're 30 years too late, because it's been going on for so long. But this is hearsay, and I don't usually share hearsay, but I was told the Gypsum Express would have had to pay more in taxes than they paid for their race team back in the beginning. I don't know how it is now, but the reason John White could justify spending the amount of money he spent buying race cars and race car parts was because it could be used as a tax write-off. So would you rather give that money to the government does what it wants, or would you rather see someone put that into motorsports? So
can I give you an answer?
I thought
that was not the question, though. The question was, does it make it an unfair advantage for someone like those guys to widen the gap, as you said in the last segment, over Johnny Salary, who works at the steel mill, who's barely getting there, but he's in it? I think it does. That's a huge advantage if you have a business.
Yeah, of course it's an advantage. I think you have to choose what you want to race. So do we use after-tax income to go racing? Do we use before-tax income to go racing? Or do we race for town line variety where taxes don't matter? And I just choose town. There's a lot of race teams where taxes don't matter because they're not tax-paying people. And I'm not knocking it. It's just how it is, right? So I don't think.
Well, I want to touch on that too, because I'm close to that situation, being in Six Nations, right? Mm-hmm. And when you look at some of the businesses that support a lot of racing around here, I'm talking Burger Barn, I'm talking Steyer's, I'm talking Nanacoke from Nitro 54 variety, I'm talking
water.
Yeah, Hills. All those businesses, they have zero write-off. So when they give us $20,000 for a point fund, or $20,000 to help keep things rolling here in the that is a gift, my friend. That is a gift
It's out of their
that they could
pocket.
be keeping.
Yep.
They get no benefit of that. So from the native side, as far as business goes, that's a straight up gift out of the kindness of their heart. Other businesses, if you can be smart, you can easily work it off. There's been underhanded deals going on forever where, hey, Adam, you got a slick accountant in your place who understands racing, and I'm a race team, and I have all my records in order, and I file my race team taxes every year, and you come to me and say, hey, how about we make a deal, and my tax bill to the government this year is $85,000. I'm going to give you a straight up check for $50,000. You write an invoice to me from Clinton Racing for $50,000, and then you go out and show. I could show where we spend $50,000 in a heartbeat of your money, Adam. And then hold on.
Yeah.
So I take $50,000. I keep $25,000 for the race team, but then I cash $25,000, then hand it back to you on the bottom side. And that slick or dirty, whether you think it's slick or dirty, it's still happening every day and been going on in every level of business, in every sport, in everything out there every day that's happening.
Yeah. How is that any different than cooperative advertising dollars? Which is legit.
It's a test.
Real companies use them.
Well, let's explain what that is. So let's say we got, the way I would explain is, let's say we go get Foot Locker to sponsor GeForce TV. Then Foot Locker ends up going to Nike and says, hey, Nike and Adidas and that, we're going to put you on this commercial we're putting on there. They end up paying it for them. Foot Locker gets the ad, but featuring Nike and Adidas, available at Foot Locker, right?
Right. So Foot Locker buys their shoes or sells their shoes through their store. So it's all cooperative. It's just a matter of, like you say, it's almost a shame because lawyers are the ones that make these agreements anymore, and they used to be 1 or 2 page documents, and now they're 200-page documents when you get into these big sponsorships and that. I think you can look at it from a cynical point of view if you want to, or you can look at it from, I'm glad these people love racing like we do and are willing to spend money, because I can show you a number of people who don't have big budgets but are still able to get some pretty badass results.
Yeah, I don't disagree about that. There's always the guys who can make it happen. Couple of things. Let's touch upon this. Drivers line up to sign up. This was brought to us from a race director or pit steward in the States, and their message was, it was a very special moment for me. This very special young man came to my racetrack, Outlaw Speedway, this weekend and found me in the pits and asked if I would sign his shirt. I could tell he was very shy and uncomfortable about asking me, so I signed his shirt and asked him, buddy, why don't you go around and see some of these other race drivers in the pits and get them to sign your shirt? I could tell the thought of it made him very nervous, so I asked him to meet me at the podium during the drivers' meeting. When I addressed all the drivers, I brought him up on the podium with me, introduced him, and told every driver that it would mean the world to this boy if they would take a minute getting their cars ready to sign his shirt. Well, all 76 drivers lined up in single file and waited in line to sign this boy's shirt. So when someone asks me why I love dirt track racing, this is why. Congrats, buddy. You're officially part of the family now, and it's a lifetime relationship. Or membership, sorry. It's just hard to read it on my screen. We're a little bit dumbed down quality. But I thought that was super cool, Adam. We love heartwarming stories like that. When the drivers, and our drivers, it's, whether you're on dirt, pavement, they just get it. Our athletes get it when it's time to step in and do the right thing. Every single one of them, no matter what was going on in their car. And that was just a really cool moment. So, something cool to see. Something not cool to see, Andy Hillenberg's team and the fast track racing team, the Arca team, had a big fire on the way home from Kentucky. And, they made a post that the fire department had did a great job. If you can throw it up, Spencer, said, well, sports fans trouble on I-24, a race rig caught fire on the way home from Springfield. The local fire department was amazing and saved a lot of their equipment. Heart-wrenching, but they'll be back in Milwaukee next week somehow. So just crazy, whenever something like that goes bad, good to see that they were able to get out, and good job on the first responders to be able to save a lot of their equipment as well.
Agreed.
Once again, just want to say thanks to everybody who comes out to all these races, comes up and lets us know they appreciate the programming they're seeing here with GeForce. I know, Adam, it's really picked up for us this summer and the past couple months, and we really appreciate you letting us know you're watching. I'm always shocked when this or person or that person says, hey, I caught your show again. And like even Tyler DiVincenzo at the beginning of the show, it's just good to see guys that are out there racing or watching just to hang out with us and talk some BS with us on Tuesdays. Well, as we do every week, we're going to leave you with our Thompson video highlights of the week from Sable. And we appreciate everybody for coming in. Is there anything else you want to add, Adam, before we sign out?
We have a really, really cool announcement lined up for our 100th show that's going to come down next month. Clint, you and I had a meeting about it this week. I think it's one of the coolest things we will have got to be involved with in a long time. And I think it's reason for people to get pretty excited. Reason for me to get excited.
See, I should know what you're talking about. Are you talking about when I bought you lunch yesterday?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'd like to announce that Clinton bought me lunch and is out of this world. No, I think we'll be ready.
That was the best way I could keep it in code to figure out what the hell you were talking about. But I am excited about it.
We'll be ready to. We may announce it before the 100th episode, but for sure it's something that we're going to talk about and feature on the 100th episode because it's a big deal, and I think it'll be. Let's just
look at what we've got coming up. This weekend will be G-Force Light from Merrittville and Humberstone. We will also be, you and I will be covering the stream on NBC Track Pass and TSN Go from both iCar at Mirabel Airport in Montreal on Saturday. Then Sunday, we're off for a doubleheader at Audrome Chaudier at Valley Junction, Quebec. So, and then the following week, we come back. We're at Flamborough live on the Saturday. And Sunday we'll be live from Brighton. So we still have a couple crazy months coming up. Wesley, I think, mentioned excited to get back to Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. I know we're excited to bring both sprint car classes back there. That's one that I have circled on my calendar to get back to as well. Anything else?
Let's say hi to we got to say hi to TJ. TJ, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Les, I don't know what happened tonight. I just started sweating and it wouldn't stop. It is a little bit warm in here, but I'm also very fat.
Yeah, I see Jorge Arias complaining about Joe Biden election, and I don't know why the heck he thinks anybody in here would care about that.
Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go.
I'm in the wrong show. Fair enough, Spencer.
Thank you, Spencer. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
All right, we're out of here.
Right on. Thank you for the administrative work, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you for participating. Again, message me if you're in the tire business or in the business that burns tires, and let's chat.
You gotta start buying ads on this show, buddy. Keeping that up. Roll the Thompson video. Here we go.
You're watching our live ticker. Put Pete Shepard into the 10th spot. Move everyone down position.
The car that's starting to drop back to 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick had been well up there. Now he's back there battling it up with Pete Shepard.
Having a hard time keeping that 84 machine on the bottom of the racetrack. There's some good drivers out here. You leave that bottom open, they're going to take it. Out in front, Ryan Kimball able to maneuver around the outside of this slower traffic, but it just looks to me on the throttle, you can't get to the throttle quite as quickly as Sheridan in the 52. That's where his weak spot is right now in the extreme exit, particularly here in turn 4, Greg.
Yeah, Jake Sheridan's so good. Rolling the bottom off of 4, gets another good run. As they work down the front stretch, it's 30 to make the 29 laps left to go now. Starts equipment 75.
I almost swear that J.R. Fitzpatrick had a tire going down or something. He is just falling right towards the back.
And that's quite possible. Oh, he drove it deep into the corner, got into the back of Connor James. It looked as though he was trying to charge the turn to keep Danny Benedict from getting to his inside. The sport is, that's some accordion action going on down into turn 3. Everybody sorts it out. We're back to green flag racing.
Kimball on the bottom, Sheridan on top, and here comes Andrew Gressel right across the nose of Gressel's 81.
While they were both sideways coming out of turn number 2, that's just how long it took them to save these race cars. Ryan Kimball, I don't think he's a real happy camper right now.
It's up the track in corner 1, runs Gressel up a little bit. Stoddy now trying to work the bottom. Oh, Gressel into the back, into the 29 of Kimball.
And he lost the hood. It's over his windshield right now on Gressel. He's running wide.
Well, the hood's kind of, it's flopped over so he can see out the windshield. He just can't see anything towards the right. And Andrew Gressel, I mean, he's all fight. Like, if he thinks that he owes you a shove, he's going to give you that shove. Whether it causes him damage or not. As a safety issue, I can't imagine they are not going to black flag the 81 of Gressel. You can't have that hood coming off the car because you don't know where it's going to land.
Josh Stoddy putting the lead on Gressel now. Josh was the pole sitter. Right now sitting back in 4th position. Sims in the 47 right there. We got caution on the track.
It's the second full moon of a particular cycle, but I didn't know what it
I thought it had something to do with Smurfs, but I could be wrong. Back to the green flag. Jake Sheridan gets a good launch. Kimball right there on that outside. Wow.
Look at Josh Stoddy coming up.
Yeah, I love the way Stoddy's car is rotating through the middle of the turns. We've talked about that a lot this year as they're sideways out of 4. They're crashing. Jordan Sims, Ryan Kimball. Oh. Kimball locks down the brakes before coming back onto the racetrack. And
that's your second place car. Second and 5th. So that is that makes it a whole new ball game.
Heads up.
So now Joe Lawrence knows he's got a bit of a freebie. The 52 of Jake Sheridan got scolded that last time, so Lawrence can really take advantage of this one. Do as he pleases.
Yeah, Jake can't risk. Oh, gets down into the 52.
Lawrence is going for it here. He's got it.
Britico again with a great move, looking for that second spot in the 21 machine. Britico side by side with Sheridan for second. Right behind them is Shane Gemmel in the 3.
Yeah, he's riding right there behind the side-by-side battle between Britico and Sheridan, who now converge on leader Joe Lawrence as they work it off of corner number 4. Wow, Sheridan got all sorts of loose out of 4. That opens the door for Gemmel. Who's behind Gemmel? Brandon Watson now in the thick of it for the first time tonight.
Well, Brandon's in the corner. Gemmel up on top.
Brandon Watson in the 9, Trayton Lapsevich in the 32 as Shea Gemmel makes it back out onto the racetrack.
19 laps left to settle it here in the Stewart's Equipment 75 at the beach. APC Series, Joe Lawrence jumps out in front down in corner 1. Britico fighting on the bottom.
What a battle we've got to lead him. Britico will lead this lap as they come by. Britico leads lap 57.
Trayton Lapsevich drops to the inside right behind Brandon Watson. So Watson trying to get around Joe Lawrence there in the battle for second. Trayton Lapsevich by himself in 4th. Then they're side by side. Danny Benedict in the 54 on the inside of the 22 of Pete Shepard.
Some of the cars involved in earlier incidents starting to work their way back through the field.
Oh, Jordan Sims went up the wall twice from the back stretch. The first time you can see the whole roof of the car.
And it comes to life.
And right now, should mention Pete Shepard. We said that his transponder not picking up. He is right now back in the 12th spot as he's dropped past Josh Stoddy as the battle for the lead heats up. The guy that Shepard's chasing, tied with him the points coming into tonight. He's about to make the bump and run here.
little bit of a nudge on critical for Brandon Watson. He takes the advantage down into turn number 3, drives it deep into the corner, keeping it pinned to the bottom. He'll take the advantage. Let's see if Critico gives him a nudge in return.
4 laps to go. Brandon Watson, the new leader. First time tonight, he is out front. Familiar spot for Watson as we're down now to 3 to go.
3 more circuits for Brandon Watson. Matt Critico tight on his bumper now. Watson gets a good run off that second corner. Can't scoot away though.
Yeah, Critico keeping him in his sights. He's back about a car length off the back bumper of that 9 machine, but Watson really able to power off the turns in that number 9. He'll see a white flag, I believe, this time out of turn number 4.
He struggled 1 week ago at Sunset after winning the first 2 races of the season. He'll head into corners 1 and 2 for the final time with Matt Critico in tow, looking for win number 3 on the season.
Down into 3 and 4 the final time. Critico sails it into the corner, but he's not going to get him. Brandon Watson for the win. Critico second, Lapsevich, Benedict, Joe Lawrence rounds out the top 5.